like weathered paper. Big band. Shall we?
Good morning, everybody. Good to see your beautiful faces once again. I believe these gentlemen have come to play some music for you this morning. So we're going to get started right away. Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wonder if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, but still you're searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. Well, the door's unlocked, the lights are on. What are you waiting for? Come on in, welcome home. You want love, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. You'll find the place of rest in the arms of spirit. God's waited so long for your homecoming day. God knows the peace you seek and the hurt you're feeling. Spirit wants to hold you and to wipe the tears away. For the Father waits with open arms. God is calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Well, there's room enough in the house of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in and welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in and welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in and welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in.
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to see all of you. We really had fun yesterday at Spanish River Park with our church picnic. Lawrence got accused of getting a head start on all of us by so many years in his Baptist church, where there is always aggressive horseshoes at the church picnics. So he was kind of the star on the horseshoe field, complaining, though, that they were plastic. We had a good time, so thanks, everybody that came out for that. If you haven't met me yet, I'm Bev Spivey. I co-minister here with my husband, Reverend Lawrence Palmer, and we look forward to meeting each and every one of you that is here for the first time. So, welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good to have our musicians back again under the direction of James McCoy.
Good morning. So good to see all of you. Won't you please welcome Mr. Peter Wallace at the piano, Mr. Pedro Baroas at the drum set, and our featured soloist today is Samantha Natalie Wallace. Just married couples everywhere.
All right. And we begin by looking at our theme for the year, One Humanity, Many Stories. We know that we each have our own individual path that we've been on that brought us here, and yet we weave together into this one humanity, that we have appreciation for each other. So we keep that in mind as we go through the year. And this month, our theme is on honoring memories. So won't you join me in this affirmation? Together, we are now and forevermore one in the love of God. And here we have a vision statement that we remind ourselves of Together, centered in God, we create an ever-expanding spiritual community of one. And our mission statement: we are a spiritual beacon of inspiration, abundance, and enlightenment. So let's take all of that into prayer as we begin today. We take a deep breath together. And just blow that out and relax into this morning as we once again appreciate our beautiful Florida weather. We had such a perfect day yesterday for the picnic with sunshine and enough cloud cover to keep us cool, a beautiful breeze. We look up on a daily basis and see our blue skies and puffy white clouds, and know that the beach is right there beckoning us. And we are happy to share in this place as one humanity. And so now we cast aside thoughts in our mind and just settle in to be here now, to hear the music, to hear the lesson, to enjoy the fellowship together. And so it is. Amen. And our prayer this morning that we share together is our Lord's Prayer. Won't you join me? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And let's stand and sing together.
Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, sing your song in me, sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, sing your song in me, sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me, pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me, pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me, shine your light into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me, shine your light into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Oh, wonderful Spirit.
You know, our musicians make all the difference, don't they? Those of us who struggled through middle school music lessons or piano can really appreciate how Pete and, well, all of the keyboardists and guitarists and drummers, they just get it all together. And of course, Samantha. Thank you so much, guys. If you're here for the very first time, we really do want to welcome you. So we ask if you would have the courage to just raise your hand. And all we have is a simple brochure to give you. Anybody here for the first time, we welcome you.
Welcome.
Rick is one of our ambassadors, and so is Michelle. As they hand out these brochures, I will remind all of you that at the back of Fellowship Hall there is an information table with other brochures and notes about Unity in general and this Unity Center. So feel free to stop by there, and if you ever have any questions, that's the place to go for answers. And it's staffed by our volunteer ambassadors. So welcome all of you. Everybody is welcome to come next door to Fellowship Hall for refreshments afterwards. We also invite you to take advantage of our prayer program here. We have chaplains who dedicate themselves to keeping us all in prayer all during the week, and especially those of you who have prayer requests or even joys to share. Our chaplains are available in the first room on the right as you go into that hallway next door. Half hour before every Sunday morning service, so at 10:30 on Sundays. They're also available there after the service if you have something come up for you that you want to sit and pray with a chaplain, or if you just need quiet space. In this noisy community that we are, the prayer chapel is our quiet space, so take advantage of that. And of course, the chaplains stand at the outer aisles as we close our service, and they're available for a quick word of prayer with you at the close of the service. We have meditation practices class still going on. This will be our third week. Lawrence is facilitating that, and we're gathering in Fellowship Hall at 7 o'clock. Even if you haven't come before, you're welcome to come in on this. It's $10 per class, and everybody's welcome. So that's Tuesday night, and we've got, what's the final date there? June 4th is the final Tuesday night for that. Next, we have a guest speaker next Sunday. Some of you already know Reverend Darby Mackenzie Line, who is a friend. She's an interfaith minister, lives locally, and she will be here to share with you next Sunday for the 11 a.m. service. It is Memorial Day weekend, and she's speaking on Love, Serve, and Remember, and our music will reflect that as well next Sunday. We have a special workshop coming up with Shelley Francis. There's two of them. Shelley has written a book, and she has adapted, her book is No Child Left Unwrapped, and she has adapted all of her information for us and for any adult. So invite your friends to this. The Shelley's workshop honors our paths that we have each been on. Whether you know it or not, you're on your own path, right? All blending into one humanity and many stories. So her first workshop on June 11th is about sensory codes, and it's how we process and experience our outer world. And then the next week is on heart codes that show the connection with our divinity. And that week is relating 8 gifts of the heart that help us process our inner world and brings about, of course, balance and harmony in our experiences. So keep that in mind. It's starting June 11th, one night, and then the next Tuesday night, June 18th, right in Fellowship Hall, $10 per class. You need not, one is not a prerequisite for the other. So come to both nights if you can, but if not, come to one or the other. And there is a big summit going on. It was to be at Pier 66, and now they've been moved to the Westin. This is a big conference that we are named as one of the partners in it as far as getting out the word. Some of you really enjoy these full-day sessions with many guest speakers, well-known guest speakers, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. There is a $50 discount to the ticket. I believe tickets are $250 49. So if you're interested in that, coming up June 23rd, go ahead. There's lots of information and a flyer that you can take with you and get more information about it. And then, certainly not least, Summer Splash. It's time for another music concert with our wonderful musicians. Tell us.
Well, we're really excited. I've put together the band, and I don't know if you folks realize, but a lot of the musicians that you hear here are world class, just world class. And we've put together a band of some of these musicians, and I'm very fortunate to be able to call them my friends as well. And we're going to be featuring Samantha Natalie is the featured soloist. Karina Iglesias is going to be a featured soloist, and our very good friend, a gentleman by the name of Greg Diaz, who is a great vocalist and saxophonist. And we're just going to have some fun and play some of our favorite songs. We're going to be doing music from Brazil, from Puerto Rico, some Bob Marley, some Stevie Wonder. So we hope you, we want to go ahead and start talking about it now. So we want to fill this place because it's going to be spectacular. Yeah.
There will be 9 of them. Yeah, 9 of them in the band. So it will be on our website this week, and we'll be ready with more details next week. We'll continue with our $20 price that is really very dirt cheap for this kind of a concert. And we're asking everybody, when we're ready to go with it next week, to go ahead and register online so we get a count. There will be social time following in Fellowship Hall with just a festive, fun summer gathering where you can mingle with the band and each other. And we'll just make it a fun Sunday night, starting at 7. They will play straight through till 8:30, and then we'll socialize. So Sunday night, June 23rd. Save that date and invite all your friends.
And
so
the social time at the last one, I think Judy put it together. It was really great too. There was prosciutto, there was mozzarella, there was balsamic. It was, yeah.
Yeah, and decorated to the nines, so it'll be fun. So let's all stand and greet each other. 2, 3.
Good morning. I'm Dina Shimmick, and I will be reading the daily word this morning, which is gratitude. I am gratefully and wonderfully blessed. Henry David Thoreau wrote, "I am grateful for what I am and have. My thanksgiving is perpetual. An attitude of thankfulness serves me well when I consider the many blessings which I am grateful for. In a quiet moment, I open my mind and heart to experience the magnificence and magnitude of all that God is. I consciously know that I am grateful for a divine presence in my life. Because of this, I give thanks in advance for the many possibilities and opportunities before me." Gratitude is the heart's response to life's infinite blessings. My gratitude expresses as peace, love, and joy. With anticipation and appreciation for future blessings, I affirm, I am gratefully and wonderfully blessed. And the scripture comes from Psalm 139:14. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Right now, as the prayer chest comes forward, we'd like to begin a time of prayer and meditation by singing together, I am light.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light.
And now, as we gracefully enter this time of meditation, I invite you to close your eyes and simply take a deep breath. And feel as you tap into that breath, you remember the calm that you already are. And you allow yourself to just be for the next few moments together. If you're comfortable, picture yourself at a beach. It's a glorious day outside. And before you find a nice spot to settle, take any fleeting thought or perhaps something you've been perseverating on, and just place it into your beach bag and put it aside where it belongs for this time. Find a comfortable spot for you to either sit down or lay out your blanket and lay flat on the earth, and continue with your breath. As you start to notice the waves come and go, the ebb and flow, allow your breath to mirror that. Let your body guide you, for you know exactly what you need, whether that's waves rolling and crashing, mirroring your deep breath, or perhaps the waves just gently touching the shoreline. Remind yourself that you too are the breath of life. And now, as you notice the radiant sun above you, So strong, the white light seems as though it's permeating through you. Allow that beautiful, strong, healing white light to cascade itself down from your crown and gently making its way through your body, also providing whatever you may need. If you're in need of happiness and joy, allow it to bring you that. Allow the light to remind you of the peace and the calm you already are through your breath. And as this light trickles down, touching each cell and making its way through your body, allow it to come out through your feet and cycle again through your crown. Allowing it to touch on any place that needs healing, restoring you to wholeness. And as you tap into this moment, you notice not only is your breath in pure alignment with the waves, but this cycle of beautiful light going through you is following that same cycle that you guide. And as though it's an epiphany that you've known all along, you remember that you are the waves. You are the sand beneath you. You are the light of the sun. You are the air that you breathe. And for the next few moments, just breathe in that power, breathe in that light, and breathe in that peace. And now as we gently come back to this moment, to this time, to this place, allow yourself, whenever you feel something lacking, whether it be harmony or peace or love or complete wholeness, that you have the power, that you can infuse yourself with that light, with that divine light at any time, and that you could fill yourself up with all the things that make you whole again through your connection with Spirit. Let's take a deep breath together and release it. And so it is.
As the year came to a close, I lamented to a friend about the things I hadn't done, the twists and turns I hadn't planned, the doors that did not open, and the love that did not stay. She smiled and said, "That much be true, but hasn't it been great?" Well, it was not the reaction I hoped for. I said in self-defense, at times I felt like Moses with those plagues and fires and pests. She says, "Leave the desert and come sit here in the shade. Let's talk about the future and cool off in the rain. 'Cause there's no way to change the past. Take back a simple word, undo the things that are done. Though you are not where you were heading, just look how far you've come. She left me feeling speechless as she drove off in the night. Then I thought about the things she said. Could she possibly be right? Was I so caught up in the process, in the who and what and why, that I failed to see the beauty in everything that went by? Could I have watched more sunsets, walked more winding roads, been kinder, sweeter, softer yet in the days I saw? So I made a few adjustments to my treasure map of dreams. I found that being happy pretty much depends on me. I can't go back and change one single thing from days gone by, but each day I remind myself to treasure what I have. 'Cause there's no way to change the past, to take back a single word, undo the things I've done. Though I am not where I was heading, just look how far I've come. No, there's no way to change the past. Take back one single word, undo the things I've done. Though you're not where you were heading, just look how far you've come. Just look how far you've come. Just look how far you've come. Why can't you look how far you've come?
Samantha Natalie. That's the music of Sue Riley.
Bev usually has to remind me that I have to get up and go to work after that. Thank you so much. Doesn't the music make it wonderful to be here and just soak up all this goodness? Yeah. Well, this month is about memories. I started out the first week in the month laying the foundation about what memory is all about and how it works in the human being. We took a look at that. The second week, we looked at what do you do with bad memories and how do you deal with them. So we took a look at that last week. And this week, wants to take a look at making memories, creating memories, and see how we all can be involved in that. Now, it's been said that on the very basic level, there are two approaches to life. One is to live passively, the other is to live actively. And I found that to be a very helpful tool when you're looking at life and looking at what's going on around you. Now, living passively means it's just que sera, sera. Whatever is, whatever will be, and whatever comes along is what comes along, and you just deal with it as you come along. And there are people who live that way, and that's a viable way to live. It's not, I don't think, the best way, but it is a way to live if you choose to be that way. Just let the world make all the decisions for you. You wait until you are pushed in one direction or another before you know where to go. And again, there are people who live that way. Living actively, however, is being engaged, being involved, participating in the life that's going on around you. Rather than just standing here waiting to be shoved in one direction or another, you take a look at what's around you, you take a look at what the situation is, and you make a decision, and then you act upon it. That's living actively. Very often you have to make a choice, not only between two things, but one among a dozen things. You know, choosing good or bad is not the hard part. Choosing when you got 6 good things is the hard part, and trying to decide which one is the right thing for the moment. But in order to do that, we have to live actively. We have to be aware, participating, engaged, all those words that indicate being a part of what's going on around you. That's an important way to live. Now, when we're living actively, this also involves memories and creating memories in particular. We said that we can live passively and just let the memories happen as they will. You don't deliberately remember anything. You don't try to remember anything. Just memories come along as they are. But if we're living actively, we can make memories, make deliberate memories, and I think that is important for us. How many of you have ever could look back at some event that you now wish you had taken pictures of? You've been somewhere on vacation saying, oh, we got enough pictures, and then you think, oh, that one last fountain would have been great to take a picture of, or that one last statue, or whatever it is. But you didn't do it, so you missed it. But what if we could live in such a way that we're always choosing our memories? And choosing every day, is this day worthy of being deliberate about remembering, or do I just let it be? Just let it be passive. That's okay when that comes up. But there are things that are or will be important for you that would be helpful for you to actually have an engaged memory of, an involved memory of. So let's look and see how that can be done. Now in Revelation chapter 3, there's an interesting little verse that gave me something of a format for a procedure for creating memories. Revelation chapter 3, verse 3. Remember, therefore, what you have received and what you have heard, and hold it fast. Remember what you have received, what you have heard, and hold it fast. Now, for me, I see a 3-step process in this little verse. The first one is that when it talks about remember what you have received, there is the experience that's going on around you. And remember what you have heard, and that is how you perceive that experience. And then, of course, it's a matter of creating a memory out of that. So what's the experience that's going on? Let's use today, for an instance. So you want to be sure that you remember this day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, right? So you're going to remember today. So you're going to be looking around. You're going to be listening. You've heard this wonderful music. have this inspiring sermon, and you bump into people that you really love, you're celebrated, you're honored, you're lifted up. All of these things are going on, and it's important that you pay attention to those things. Watch what the experience is. Now, the second part of that perceiving the experience is judging what that experience is going to be for you. And I mean judge in a very positive way. Making a decision, okay, here's this great day at church. I've heard a song I never heard before, heard a sermon I never heard before, met 3 new people I never met before. This is a good day. This one is going to get registered. This one I'm going to put in the box, all right? So we make a choice. We perceive, is this event, this situation, this experience worthy of or something that I really want to hold on to? The scripture says to hold it fast. Was that the word? Yeah, hold it fast. Remember what you've received, what you've heard, and hold it fast. So that last step is when we say, yes, this day I'm going to remember. And you start making connections between people and feelings and experiences and thoughts and the date. That's even important too, because sometimes people will come in to see me and they're having something going on, and I say, well, you know, what's the date? Well, today's the date of 21st of whatever. And you say, well, what else happened on that date? And it's so amazing how often something else took place on that date that they had forgotten about. However, if you make it deliberate to say, I am going to remember, what is today? So I can use that right. May 19th. Okay, all right. So I'm going to remember May 19th. For whatever reason, I'm going to put a pin in it, all right? So after I've observed the experience and kind of soaked it up, I've interacted with the experience, I've participated in the experience, and I've determined that this is something important for me to remember. What did I tell you the very first week, and actually the second week too, about memory? What is memory? Is it yours? Is it something you do? Memory is the activity, the action of spirit. And that's why it's important for us to talk about memory in a spiritual context. I could talk to people in psychology about this because it makes sense, it fits. But there's also that spiritual component because it is spirit who moves and acts and makes memories happen. It is spirit that places that energy, that signature within you that you can go back to and pick up and bring that memory up again for you. So we have a process here of creating memories. But that only happens if we're living actively, if we're living deliberately, if we're living intentionally. If we do things knowing what we're doing and knowing why we're doing them, we're able to create these memories. Give you another example. This weekend we're going up to Findlay, Ohio, where my youngest grandson is graduating from high school. He's this tall. It's amazing. I'm so proud of him. It's so exciting. My first grandchild graduating from high school. And do you think I want to remember that? Yeah, I'd really like to remember this experience. So I'm already getting ready for it. I'm already anticipating the experience of being at the school and hearing the music and watching all the celebration and watching his 2 younger brothers. That'll be interesting because that's a new experience for them too. They've never had a family member that close, at least graduating from high school, in that experience. So they're going to be watching too. It'll be fun seeing their interaction, how they participate in what's going on. So I've got all these things going on in my head already. I'm already making plans for it. So I'm going to pay attention to what's going on around me. The experience is there, and I perceive it as something that's really good and something really fun, something I really want to be a part of. So not only am I going to watch it, I'm going to participate, I'm going to act in it as well. And when the day is done and I stop and reflect on all that's been happening, I can say, okay, Spirit, put a pin in it. This is a memory I want to create, I want to hold on to. And it is Spirit that creates the memory for me and holds it there, and we hold it fast. Now, imagine how a human life would be if it is lived completely passively. There's never a decision made to deliberately create a memory. You just, whatever gets created, and whatever comes up, comes up. Can you imagine living a life like that? You may know some people who live that life. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be that way, and that's fine. Somebody can live their whole life like that, and that's okay. But if that life doesn't satisfy, it is important that we're aware of what it means to live actively, to live deliberately, intentionally, with purpose and with meaning. To say what I do today has meaning. What I say today is important. So I pay attention to it. Does not that life of living actively seem a bit different than the one living passively? I think so. And this matter of memory is one of the most important places where that comes into play. You remember the good things that happen. When you're doing your meditation and prayer, how many of you have ever done that passively? Well, it's 9 o'clock. It's about time I usually do this every night, so let's just go ahead and get this over with. You're really going to remember that, right? And if something significant happens during that time, you're not going to be prepared to process it and hold tight to it, hold fast to it. So even in your meditation time, even in those things that don't seem so terribly important, and these things don't have to be terribly important for you to want to remember them and for them to play a part in your life. I mentioned the first week how important memories are for us. You get home by virtue of your memory. You call up somebody you love and say, "Hi, I love you," by virtue of your memory. You get here by memory. You know who your relatives are by memory. You know which ones you really don't want to invite to a party the next time you have one by memory, all right? So it's a pretty effective tool. Would it not behoove us to be deliberate about using our memory as a spiritual tool, knowing that it is Spirit working in and through us to make memory do what it does? So I would encourage you to take that with you into this week. Now, everything that happens to you is an experience of some kind or another. And you don't have to make every experience into a memory. But as you look into this week, look at the things that you would deem as being significant that you really want to remember. There may be a conversation you're having with someone. Bev taught the class a couple of weeks ago on crucial, what was the name of it? Crucial conversation. Say that 3 times fast. And part of that was knowing when to have a particular conversation with someone. And this would be a good place to bring those two things together. You have a conversation that you really need to have with someone to straighten out something that's not quite right there. Will you think this might be something important to remember? I would think so. So pay attention to the event, the circumstances, the experience. What's going on? How did it happen? How are you feeling? How did they look? Let all of those things be a part of your participation in that event. Then have the conversation and say, "Okay, Spirit, here it is. Let's put a pin in this. Let's remember this." Because it may be that you learned something that is life-changing from that little experience, but only because you remembered it. You remembered at some point you had this little twitch in your right ear, and things weren't going quite like they should have gone. And one little word floated through your mind that you didn't pick up on. And after the conversation's over, you realized if you'd followed that train of thought, the end of the conversation would have been different. Because you used a word that was a buzzword for that person. If you'd used one other word, that never would have been activated. It would have been a completely different conversation. If you remember that, what's going to happen the next time your right ear buzzes? You're going to pay attention. If something's here, I need to take a look at. If you don't remember it, it's gone, and you're going to blunder around and do the same thing again. So there's so many areas in your life where this comes into play, of being deliberate about remembering. There is an experience, there's an event, there's a circumstance that you pay attention to. You decide whether it's really important or not, and whether it deserves your energy and your effort to make it happen. And then you say, "Okay, Spirit, here's a memory. Let's put a pin in it, and let's hold to it, and let it be helpful for us as we go forward." So it comes into play so many times. And again, it's not just human stuff. This is spiritual matters, because it is Spirit that makes these things move in and through us and makes it work. So I encourage you to use your memory this week very deliberately, very carefully. And don't let something slip by that one day you're going to wish you had held on to. And it only takes a moment, and Spirit does the work anyway. You have to stop and pay attention, but it is Spirit that does the work of actually creating that memory and putting it in a place to hold on to. Now, we really don't know completely yet where memory is stored. A lot of people think the brain is the tool that does all of that. But actually, the brain was created by the mind. A lot of people think the mind was created by the brain. The brain is just a physical instrument of the mind. The mind is so much bigger. There's an energy field that encompasses the mind that holds all the memories for us. So that's something, even that we don't have to do for ourselves. That is done for us as well. It is held in that body of energy that we are. And it serves us very well. So this week, I would encourage you again to pay really close to your attention, to your memory. And when something comes up that you want to remember, you know what to do now. A matter of paying attention to it, recognize the situation, the event, the circumstances, make a choice about how important this is, and then we'll let Spirit work to put a pin in it and create a memory that you carry with you and that you trust will come up at the time when it's important for you. Have any of you been saved from doing something incredibly stupid by remembering something right before you did it? You know, you start to turn right and you say, whoa, I remember what happened the last time I turned right on this road. I'm going to go the other way this time. You start to put salt in the stew and you remember, wait a minute, the recipe called for 2 tablespoons and that was way too much. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon in. Why did you do that? Because you remembered. And you heard that someone was ill. And you called them up and said, hey, we've really been missing you. And you remembered how important that was for them to do that. So you do it again in 3 days because you remember. You're feeling really, really bad. Your heart's hurting. And you remember the last time this happened. And you remember a Bible passage that you read that really helped. So you go back and you read that again. And you remember a place that you went to sit down and to pray. And you went there again. And you remembered this guided meditation that someone had given you, and you used that. And when you were finished, you were in a very good place again because you remembered. So remember. Like I mentioned, there's some 350 times where that is that injunction we find in the Bible. Remember, 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 because you can. Bless you, my friends.
And now it's time for us to take an offering. And, you know, speaking of remembering, when a plate is passed in a church, it may bring up all kinds of memories for you, and some of them may not be good. When you're asked to give, whether it's money or service, whether it's in church or somewhere else, pay attention if that brings up negative memories, because you do have the choice of seeing things differently always. And here we're all about appreciating what we have in life, appreciating how far we have come. And none of us probably are exactly where we thought we were headed, but here we are. And we appreciate being here, and we appreciate Unity of Pompano and its facilities and its programs. So I ask you to feel the positive part of giving and serving and loving and caring, and value what we have here and share from your resources to support us. We are very good stewards of your money, so we thank you for your gifts, and a special thanks to those who have been here for a long time and remain committed. Special thanks for those who are here the first time. We appreciate each and every one of you for coming today and joining in this day that makes it unique. So thank you all, and let's hold our gifts and really feel the blessing. Together, with a grateful heart, we acknowledge God as source of all that is. Today, we declare love for ourselves and all others. Love is mine. Love and more love is mine. And ever-increasing love is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this love. I feel it. I experience it. I freely give it. And it multiplies itself around me. and so it is. Amen.
Here's a little song we got from that other Unity songwriter by the name of Faith Rivera.
Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and they'll be heads up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am a one in this thing called life. Today is the day I'll remember to see only good, only God happening through you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. Yes, I am one in this thing called life. Today is the day I'll be more of myself, love my skin where I've been and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, simply flow as I go, 'cause I know where I came from. From the stars in the sky, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. Yes, I am one with this thing called life. Oh, I am loved by this thing called life.
Are you ready for a new week? John Spira is headed out to man our used bookstore. I invite you to always go there and check things out where we have daily words and used books for your reading pleasure. Our chaplains are taking position in our side aisles to be available for prayer with you today. So do take advantage of a bit of positive prayer. Perhaps you were thinking about something on your mind as you came here and you want to just share that with a chaplain. They'd be happy to pray with you. So let's all stand together and bless each other with our unity blessing. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let a good weekend, everybody.